Good morning, students. In the previous session, we had learned about Rutherford's atomic model. We had seen that this model has got two drawbacks. It could not explain the stability of atom. It could not explain the line spectrum emitted by atom. Another physicist, Niels Bohr, made some modifications in this model. He used quantum mechanical ideas and proposed a new model of hydrogen atom. So let us now study what are the postulates in the Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. So coming to the first postulate. According to the first postulate, an electron revolves in certain stable orbits without emitting radiation, and these orbits are called as the stationary orbits. The meaning is, as long as an electron revolves in one particular orbit, there is no emission of radiation, and such a stable orbit is called as a stationary orbit. Now the second postulate given by Bohr, it is called as Bohr's quantum condition, and it will define these stable orbits. So according to the second postulate, an electron can revolve only in those orbits for which the angular momentum of the electron is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. That is, the angular momentum L is equals to n into h upon 2 pi, where n is an integer. N can take only integral values. N takes the values 1, 2, 3 and so on. This n is called as the principal quantum number of the orbit. Suppose you want to show it in the diagram. This is the nucleus. The first orbit has got the value of n equal to 1. Second orbit n equal to 2. Third orbit n equal to 3 and so on. So n is called as the principal quantum number of the orbit. So this is Bohr's quantum condition. Now coming to the third postulate, it is called as Bohr's frequency condition. Now in the first postulate we had seen, as long as it revolves in one particular orbit, there is no emission of radiation. Now when an electron jumps from one stationary orbit of higher energy to another of lower energy, then the difference of energies between the two orbits is given out in the form of electromagnetic radiation. That is, let us say an electron jumps from a higher energy state with energy EI to another of lower energy state EF. So EI is the initial state, EF is the final energy state. Then the radiation is emitted in the form of photons, and the energy of the emitted photon h nu is equals to the difference of energies between the two orbits. That is, it is equals to EI minus EF, where EI is greater than EF. Let us take nu on one side. So nu will be nothing but EI minus EF upon h. So this nu gives you the frequency of the emitted radiation. Therefore, this condition is called as Bohr's frequency condition. So these are the three main postulates in the Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. Now using these postulates, we shall go to an important derivation, that is, we shall derive an expression for radius of nth orbit of an electron revolving around the nucleus of hydrogen atom. Let us say this is the nucleus of hydrogen atom and this is the nth circular orbit, radius is Rn. An electron of charge E and mass m is revolving in this nth circular orbit, and let us say Vn is the velocity of the electron. It is tangential to the circle. Now let us find out charge on the nucleus. Hydrogen atom is 1h1. It consists of only one proton. Charge of one proton is plus E. Therefore, charge of the nucleus is also E. Now, you know that for any circular motion, a centripetal force is required. that centripetal force acts towards the center of the circle, and this centripetal force is responsible for the circular motion. So here also, for the circular motion of the electron, a centripetal force is required. Now what provides the centripetal force? So this centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the positive nucleus and the negative electron. So now let us equate the electrostatic force to the centripetal force. So to find the electrostatic force, we shall use Coulomb's law. So according to Coulomb's law, the electrostatic force is given as the constant, that is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, product of the charges. What are the charges? E and E. So it is E square divided by square of the distance. Distance is Rn, so it will become Rn square. So this is the electrostatic force of attraction between nucleus and the electron, and this force is equals to the centripetal force. So what is the centripetal force? In general it is mv square upon r. So here it will be mvn square upon Rn. Let us simplify the equation. So Rn gets cancelled on both sides. So on this side we are left with only mvn square. So what is the value of mvn square? It will be nothing but constant 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 E square upon Rn. 1 Rn gets cancelled. So it is E square upon Rn. Let us call this as equation 1. Now let us use the Bohr's quantum condition. According to Bohr's quantum condition, angular momentum L is equals to nh upon 2 pi. Now last year you have studied what is angular momentum. It is moment of momentum and it is given as mvr. So in this case it will be m, velocity is vn, radius is rn. So mvn rn is equals to nh upon 2 pi. Let us call it as equation 2. So using equations 1 and 2 we shall find out an expression for radius of nth orbit of electron. So let us summarize the points which we have done now. First is we have stated the postulates of Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. So what are the three important postulates? First one, an electron revolves around the nucleus in certain stable orbits without radiating energy, and these stable orbits are called as the stationary orbits. This is the first postulate. Second postulate is called as Bohr's quantum condition. According to this condition, an electron can revolve around the nucleus only in those orbits for which the angular momentum is an integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. Therefore, we have the equation L is equals to nh upon 2 pi, where n is an integer. It takes the value 1, 2, 3 and so on, and it is called as the principal quantum number of the orbit. Then the third postulate is called as Bohr's frequency condition. According to this condition, when an electron jumps from higher energy orbit to a lower energy orbit, the difference of energies between the two orbits is given out in the form of electromagnetic radiation. Therefore, the frequency of emitted radiation is given by the condition nu is equals to EI minus EF upon H, where EI is the energy of the initial state of the electron and EF is the energy of the final state of the electron, where EI is greater than EF. So these are the three important postulates of Bohr. So this is a frequently asked question for 3 marks. That is, the question will be state Bohr's postulates. So this is very important. Now based on these postulates, we are working out a derivation for radius of nth orbit of electron. So we have derived two equations here. First one is for the circular motion of the electron, centripetal force is required, and this centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the positive nucleus and the negative electron. So you got equation 1 as mvn square is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 E square upon Rn. Second equation is using Bohr's quantum condition, the angular momentum mvn Rn is equals to nh upon 2 pi. So let us now simplify these two equations and arrive at the expression for radius of the nth orbit of electron. Just now we have studied the two equations. I have written down the two equations on one side. This is equation 1 and equation 2. Now using these two equations, we shall derive an expression for nth radius of nth orbit of hydrogen atom. So from equation 2, we shall find out the value of Vn. So mRn you transfer on the other side. So what will be the value of Vn? Vn will be equal to NH upon 2 pi into mRn. Now this value of Vn we shall substitute in equation 1 and simplify. So you have m as it is. Vn value is NH upon 2 pi mRn whole square is equals to right hand side as it is, no change, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 E square upon Rn. So square this term, you will have m into, so this will be n square h square divided by 2 pi square will be 4 pi square, then mRn square will be m square Rn square is equals to right hand side as it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 E square upon Rn. So cancel similar terms on both sides. So here m and m square is there, 1m gets cancelled, then 4 gets cancelled from both sides. Here there is pi, here there is pi square, so 1 pi gets cancelled. Then here there is Rn, here there is Rn square, 1 Rn gets cancelled. So what remains on the left hand side? So n square h square divided by, in the denominator, pi m Rn equals to right hand side E square as it is. Here you are left with only epsilon 0. So let us cross multiply and simplify. So if you cross multiply, you will have epsilon 0 into n square h square is equals to pi m Rn into E square. Take Rn on one side. So Rn will be equal to epsilon 0 n square h square divided by pi m E square. So this is the final expression for radius of nth orbit of electron in the hydrogen atom. So what is n here? N I had told you it is called as principal quantum number and it takes the integral values n equals to 1, 2, 3 etc. N is equals to 1 for the first orbit, n is equals to 2 for the second orbit and so on. Now using this equation, we shall find out the radius of the innermost orbit of hydrogen atom. That is, we shall put n equal to 1 in this equation. So this radius is called as the Bohr radius and it is denoted by the letter A0. So what is Bohr radius? It is the radius of the innermost or the first orbit of hydrogen atom. So if you put n equal to 1, you will get the expression for Bohr radius. So what will be Bohr radius? A0 equals to, put n equal to 1. So n square will be 1 square. So 1 square is 1. So you will be left with epsilon 0 h square divided by pi m E square. So this is an expression for the Bohr radius. Now let us draw some conclusions from the main equation. So in this equation, except n square, all terms are constant. Epsilon 0, h square, pi m E square are all constants. If you substitute the values of the constants, you will get Rn equals to 0.53 into n square and the unit is angstrom. So Rn equal to 0.53 n square in angstrom. How is angstrom related to meter? You know this relation. 1 angstrom is equals to 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Also, because all these terms are constant, you can write Rn proportional to n square. The meaning is radius of the orbit is directly proportional to square of the principal quantum number. Let us take different radii. R1 is to R2 is to R3, radius of the first orbit, second orbit, third orbit and so on. So this is equals to, so you have to put the value of n square. So it will be 1 square is to 2 square is to 3 square, or it is equals to 1 is to 4 is to 9. So this is the ratio of the radii of different orbits of hydrogen atom. So this is your first derivation. On the same lines, we shall go to the next derivation, that is, we shall derive an expression for velocity of the electron revolving in the nth orbit of hydrogen atom. That is, we shall now derive an expression for Vn. So it is on the same lines. In this derivation, what we have done? We had first calculated the value of Vn from equation 2 and then substituted in equation 1. Now what we shall do? We shall calculate the value of Rn from equation 2 and substitute in equation 1. So first step is find the value of Rn from equation 2. So mVn transfer to the other side. So what is the value of Rn? Rn is equals to Nh upon 2 pi into m into Vn. Now this value we shall substitute in equation 1 and simplify. So here you have term Rn. Substitute the value of Rn there. So what will be equation 1? mVn square as it is. Then 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 as it is. Then E square upon Rn. So E square upon Rn. Rn have put the value Nh upon 2 pi mVn. Now let us cross multiply and simplify. This term will come to the numerator. So what you will have? It will be E square into 2 pi mVn divided by denominator will be 4 pi epsilon 0 into Nh. Now let us simplify it further. So m gets cancelled from both sides. So Vn square is here, Vn is here, 1 Vn gets cancelled. Then 2 is here, 4 is here. So you will have here 2, pi gets cancelled. So what remains? Here we are left with Vn. Vn is equals to, here only E square remains in the numerator and in the denominator you are left with 2 epsilon 0 Nh. So this is the final expression for velocity of the electron revolving in the nth orbit of hydrogen atom. So you can draw some conclusions from this. Here also you will find that except n, all other terms are constant. E square, 2 epsilon 0 H, all are constants. So what do you conclude? Vn proportional to 1 by n. The meaning is the velocity of the electron is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. That is, as n increases, Vn decreases. The meaning of this is the electrons revolving in the outer orbits have less velocity compared to the electrons revolving in the inner orbits. So these are the two derivations we have done just now. Let us revise them once again. First derivation is for Rn, that is radius of the nth orbit of electron in the hydrogen atom. So what we have done for that? We have found out the value of Vn from equation 2 and substituted in equation 1. So Vn from equation 2 is given as Nh upon 2 pi mRn. We have substituted in equation 1, simplified, and we got the result for Rn. Rn equal to epsilon 0 n square s square divided by pi m E square. From this we got an expression for Bohr radius. Bohr radius is nothing but radius of the first orbit or innermost orbit of hydrogen atom. Putting n equal to 1, you get an expression for Bohr radius. A0 equals to epsilon 0 s square divided by pi m E square. And if you put all the constant terms in this, you will get Rn equal to 0.53 n square in angstrom. Also, this equation shows that Rn is directly proportional to n square. Radius of the orbit is directly proportional to square of the principal quantum number. So this was the first derivation. Then the second derivation was to find the velocity of the electron revolving in the nth orbit of hydrogen atom. So what we have done for that? In this equation we have found out from equation 2, we have found out the value of Rn. Rn equals to Nh upon 2 pi mVn. We have substituted it in equation 1 and simplified. We got the result for Vn. Vn equal to E square upon 2 epsilon 0 Nh. So leaving n, rest all terms are constant. So we can write Vn proportional to 1 by n. It shows that velocity of an electron is inversely proportional to the principal quantum number. That is, the velocity of the electrons in the outer orbits is less compared to the velocity of the electrons in the inner orbits. So this first derivation was asked last year for 5 marks. The question was, derive an expression for radius of nth orbit of electron in the hydrogen atom, hence write an expression for Bohr radius. And the other one is derivation for velocity. So this is all for today's session. Thank you.